Hi everyone, it's Yoshka and welcome to another video on my channel. Today we're going to do part 7 of Trial of Champions. And right now we are on paragraph 109 and it says that we are at a T junction, and towards our right there's a bright glow and to our left there's a door. So would you just join me in this adventure as we continue to Trial of Champions as we go to part 7. So we can either walk towards the bright glow, which will be turn to 143, or we want to open the door, turn to 386. We're going to walk towards the bright glow, not the door this time. You do not always have to open every door you see. So this is the bright glow. See the 3 iron heads of the dragon and the flames. The tunnel ends at an archway which is mounted with dragon heads made of iron. Flames shoot out from their mouths continuously, making a wall of fire across the archway. If you wish to run quickly into the archway, turn to 370. If you want to walk back down the T junction to open the door, turn to 386. We're going to run through the archway. Keeping your head down, you run through the archway as fast as you can. If you are wearing a purple cloak, turn to 16. If you're not wearing a cloak, turn to 101. Well, we do have a purple cloak right over here. The one that we found in one of the urns last time we passed by. Anyways, we have a cloak, so let's turn to 16. The heat from the flames is intense, but the fireproof cloak protects you completely. Once through the archway, you find yourself in a cross passage. Looking right, you see nothing of interest down the tunnel, but to your left, you can see something hanging down from the ceiling. You decide to investigate. Turn to 88. But before we read 88, I'll just show you our adventure sheet. Our skill is still 11, and this one because I erased off because the paper was all tearing off, so I made a new box over here. We have 17 stamina, and our luck is 11. So let's go to 88, and there's a photo over here. The box, the rope, a stump, and an axe. If you can see the close, there was the rope say rope cutter. So we're going to decide what we're going to do. As you get closer, you see that a rope loops through a hook in the ceiling and that a wooden box is suspended by it, well out of reach. The other end of the rope loops through a hook in the floor and back up to a wooden block where it is fastened by an iron lance. An axe is sticking out of the block, and an inscription on the blade reads, "Rope cutter. Will you cut the rope with the axe?" Turn to 41. Cut the rope with your sword. Turn to 149. Ignore the rope and walk on. Turn to 388. Well, this dungeon is really known for booby traps, so we're not going to trust this axe, so we're going to cut it with our sword. At 149. Looks like we get something as well. One blow from your sword cuts the rope in two. The wooden box crashes to the floor and breaks apart. Lying inside the broken box, you find 2 brass hands from a clock. Hoping they might be of use to you, you place them inside your pouch and walk on. Let me just write down 2 brass hands. 2 brass hands. Okay, let's go to 388. Walking along, you are surprised to hear a squeaky voice above you shout, "Hello!" You look up and see a small face staring down from a grill in the ceiling. "I'm hungry," says the little man. "Give me some food and I'll tell you a thing or two about somebody you're about to meet." He drops a cotton bag down on a piece of string in hopeful anticipation. If you wish to give the little man some nuts and berries, to the 309. If you want to walk on without giving away your precious food, to the 58. Well, that's dark. Anyways, we do have some nuts and berries right over here. We're going to give this man some food. He's a small little man. What bad things can he do? Well, you can't trust anyone. We just have to be smart about the people we meet. Okay, anyways, let's go to 309. It looks like this man really gives us some info. You drop a handful of nuts and berries into the bag and watch it disappear through the grill. The little man smiles and says, "The hunchback is a liar." Then he disappears, and you are alone again, wondering about who the hunchback might be. You set up once again. So whenever we encounter a hunch guy, we just have to know that he's a liar. Let me just write this down. Hunchback is a liar. Let's go to 58. Let's see what happens here. Walking along, you step on a stone which triggers an unseen trap. Iron bars drop down from holes in the ceiling in front of you and behind you. You strain to lift them, but you are unable to move them, and they are too thick to bend. If you are carrying a file in your pouch, turn to 106. If you don't have a file, turn to 396. Well, I remember we got a file from a loaf of bread that we got last time. Let me try to find the file. Bingo! Over here. Iron file. We do have a file. Thank God that we got it. Let's see. Looks like we get to get out of this cage. You take out your file and begin the long and laborious task of filing through the two of the iron bars. It takes an hour to escape from the cage, but at last you are free. Walking along the tunnel, you are surprised to see a painting of Baron Succumbit hanging on the wall. If you wish to inspect it closely, turn to 314. If you want to walk on to the 228, we're going to inspect it. We're going to 314. The painting is quite ordinary and there are no hidden compartments in the frame. On the back, there is a label with the words Set 3, 176 written in black ink. You place the painting back on the wall and walk on. Let me just write it down. Set 3, 176. Let's go to 228. The tunnel turns left up ahead and you hear the sound of grunting and heavy breathing coming from around the corner. You walk up quietly up to the corner, peer around and see an ugly creature with long claws and sharp teeth, punching the wall in anger. It is the largest and most savage of all the trolls, a fearsome hill troll. You decide to try to creep by the troll while it is preoccupied. Test your luck. If you're lucky, turn to 381. If you're unlucky, turn to 79. Okay, give me a moment. I forgot to take out my dice. Yeah, here they are. That didn't take so long. Okay. And we roll 6, so we are lucky. Now we have to reduce our luck score by 1, which is a bit sad. But that's the rules. Anyways, let's go to 381. The troll is so engrossed with punching the wall that you are able to slip past it unnoticed. Keeping close to the wall, you walk quietly on up the tunnel. Turn to 211. Oh, looks like we have encountered another of the other contestants. After another 30 meters, the tunnel comes to a dead end. There is no sign of a secret passage, so you turn around and are surprised to see another of the contestants stalking you. It is the Eastern Warlord. His torn, battle dress stained red with blood, intent on murder, with his sword raised high, he steps swiftly and surely towards you. Eastern Warlord, skill 1079. We're into battle again. We have fought the Chaos Champion in the earlier part. We encountered the Elven Prince, and then we still don't know what happened to the Dwarf though. So we're gonna see what will happen with the Eastern Warlord. Maybe I think the dwarf is already dead. Anyway, the Chaos Champion was slain by us. So, I would presume that it's either him or me this time. If we die here, the Eastern Warlord has a chance to make it through the dungeon. If we win, we have a chance to survive and claim the prize of 20,000 gold pieces. Anyway, let's battle this guy. He rolls a 7, that's 17, and we roll. Okay, let me see. What do we roll again? We roll a 9, that's 20. He's down to 7. He rolls a 7, that's 17, and we roll a 4, that's 15. He gets a hit on us, but it's okay. 15 is good enough for us. 15 is okay. We just make sure we don't lose any more stamina. He rolls a 6, that's 16. And we roll a 6, that's 17. He's down to 5. He rolls a 4, that's 14. And we roll a 7, that's 18. He's down to 3. He rolls a 5, that's 15. And we roll a 12, that's 23. He's down to 1. And he rolls 8, that's 18. And we roll... What do we roll against them? Okay. Now let's roll. And we roll 7, that's 18. That's a draw. Let's do it again. He rolls a 3, that's 13. And we roll a 4, that's 15. Looks like the Eastern Warlord has been eliminated. Looks like we're the only one left. We can do this, guys. We just need to get out of this dungeon. Let's go to 354. But let me just say, R.I.P. Eastern Warlord. And 354. The Warlord must have barely escaped with his life after a previous battle, and his body is deeply gashed by claws, and he has no possessions with him other than his sword. You decide to leave him and walk back down the tunnel, but you bump into an immovable barrier. You have triggered another trap, and there appears to be no way out of escape. If you possess a file of red dust, turn to 238. If you do not, turn to 330. Well, we got it from the old crow's room earlier, in the first part when we entered. There it is, file of red dust. Lucky we got this. Let's go to 238. Remembering the disappearance of the old crone, who sprinkled dust on the floor, you decide to try to do so in a desperate attempt to escape. You uncork the file and empty the contents onto the floor. Smoke rises up and you feel suddenly as you are being spinning in the black void. Seconds later, you find yourself standing in a small empty room. There's an iron door which is locked and has no handle. If you possess an iron key, turn to 125. If you don't have a key, turn to 226. Let me just cross off the file because we already used all the red dust. Anyways, talking about the iron key, we got it last time from the room with all the skeletons. There it is, iron key. Let's go to 125. And looks like we are not at the end of our trial yet. We might be tested by this wizard. The iron key fits tightly inside the lock and turns with a loud click. You breathe a sigh of relief and walk through the door. Before you is a lavishly furnished room where a bearded man clad in long red robes is sitting on an ornate golden throne, reading a book. A small winged creature, red in color and boasting a long tail, is sitting on his shoulder, looking very menacing. On the wooden bench to the right of the man, various glass receptacles linked by tubes have different colored liquids bubbling inside them. At the end of the zigzag tubing, a glowing crystal bowl collects the slow drip of liquid from the end of the open tube. The man looks up and says in an even tone, "Enter. I must admit that I'm very surprised to see you. The deadly traps are obviously not deadly enough for the likes of you. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lexus. I'm a Grand Wizard by training, and I have been hired by Baron Circumvent as a trial master for this year's Trial of Champions. You are now in the final stage of your ordeal, and only I stand between your success or failure. You will have discovered that there are a number of gold rings hidden in the dungeon, and the number you have collected is vital to your success. Do you have an odd number of rings or an even number? If you have an odd number, turn to 11. If you have an even number, turn to 367. We have 9 gold rings, so we are going to 11 and an odd number of rings. The old wizard looks at you quizzically and says, "Now, tell me exactly how many gold rings you have. If you have 1 or 3 rings, turn to 278. If you have 5 or 7, turn to 92. If you have 9 or 11, turn to 345. It reminds me of 9/11. Anyways, we have 9 or 11. The trial master tells you to place the rings on top of the bench. If you have 9 rings, turn to 335. If you have 11 rings, turn to 392. We have 9 rings, as I mentioned before, so let's go to 35. You do as instructed and watch the trial master as he counts rings. So far so good, he says. Now, if you will follow me, we'll proceed to the next stage. He gathers up the rings and leads you to the throne he was sitting upon. He gives you back the rings and tells you to sit down. There's a panel divided into 9 squares, 3 by 3, in the arm of the chair, with each square number between 1 and 9. Now, I want you to place 3 rings on 3 of the number squares in order. If you know which squares to place the rings upon, turn to the reference. If you don't know, turn to 286. That's where the numbers come in handy. First, they set 1, 2, 4, 9. So we're going to go to 2, 4, 9. The old wizard smiles and says, well done. And now, the next 3, please. If you know the second sequence of numbers, turn to that reference. If you don't know it, turn to 286. It says set 2, 3, 5, 8. So let's go to 3, 5, 8. You must have made a thorough search of the dungeon. Baron circumvent so that nobody will be able to do this. Anyway, the last 3, please. If you know the last sequence of numbers, turn to that reference. If you don't know it, turn to 286. It says set 3, 176. So let's go to 176. Okay, looks like we have done this. Incredible, says the old wizard. Who would have thought it was possible? Never mind. Stand up and follow me. He leads you through a doorway into another room, which has bare stone walls and is empty except for a long case clock standing against one of the walls. You notice that there are no hands at the clock face. On the wall opposite the clock are 4 levers, numbered 3, 6, 9, and 12. The wizard mutters a few unintelligible words to his familiar, which then flies off his shoulder and begins to circle over your head. You watch as the creature grows steadily bigger until it has 2 meter wingspan. Now, I must leave you to fend for yourself, says Lexus as he leaves the room, locking the door behind. As soon as he's gone, the fire swoops down to attack you, spitting fire. And it's really reached 17 minutes. So this is where we will leave off for part 7, as we are on 176 now. So just to summarize what we did today, we walked towards the white glow instead of the door. We had a cloak, so we could escape through the flaming archway. We gave some nuts and berries to a little old man who gave us some info that the hunchback is a liar. We escaped an iron cage using our iron file, and we found a painting of Baron Circumvent and got a note saying set 3, 176. And then we slipped past a hill troll, fought the Eastern Warlord, and we entered the Trial Master's room, and it's the wizard named Lexus. And we have passed the 2 tests. We got the exact number of rings. We got 9 rings, and then we placed all the rings into the panel correctly. And now where we're gonna leave off is where we're gonna find the little creature behind next to him. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me what you think of this part in the comments below. And when we come back to part 8, we will fight the fire imp and see if we can reach the end of the dungeon and claim the 20,000 gold pieces reward. So as always, thank you so much for joining me in Trial of Champions, and we will catch you next time. See you guys. Bye. Take care. Good night.